Well, hello everybody. It's Rob Jastrzemski here with
Rita Sobkowicz. How are you?
and welcome to the team, Rita. We've
Thank
got a
you.
new partner. You guys may have noticed that one of my other business partners is not available today. So Rita is a new business partner on our team here. She actually just started this week. And so we're going to get her to be with me here to host our July stats for the Edmonton area. Already
Great.
August. Hard to believe.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Now, Rita comes to us with a lot of experience. She's got, 20-something?
28-ish.
28 years of experience. So, the nice thing about that is as we're going to be discussing these stats, we'll be able to draw on your experience with some other municipalities where you have experience in to see how it compares. So without further ado, Rita, we're just going to go through, the way I like to do this with the audience is just to make sure that we kind of go through the whole segment of the stats from July. And so we are focusing on residential. In this case, residential means anything and everything that has to do with homes in the residential segment, including lots, vacant lots, duplexes, townhomes, condos, and single-family detached homes, the whole works.
Okay.
So starting right off the bat, Rita, why don't you go ahead and let us know what is the average price? That's what everybody wants to know. What's the average price for July?
All right. The average price for July of everything that we just talked about is currently sitting at $432,000, which is a slight decrease of 0.4% from last month. But overall, we've seen an increase from this time last year of a 4.2% increase.
Yeah. Now, what we like to mention here is how does that compare to say last year and last month? So with that, without going too far into it, let's see. 2024, we've also got these stats. Yep. By the way, guys, we're going to have these in the links below for you to make sure that you're also following along. We're also going to make sure that the editor puts these on the screen as we're discussing them so that you'll be able to follow along. So with comparison of the average price back in 2024 of July, what was that?
It was actually $415,000.
So a nice little increase. There
Yeah,
you go, guys.
exactly.
So if you bought a home last year, you just earned $15,000 worth of equity just for buying last year. How smart were you? Now, saying that, we are still seeing a lot of opportunity in the market here. We're still seeing prices increase, and you just mentioned that the prices increased year over year. How much?
4.2%.
This year.
This year.
Now, if you could compare that to July 2023 versus July 2024, how much did it go up then?
It was actually almost double at 8.1%.
Right. So how incredible is that?
It is. It's pretty cool.
Now, you came from the Fort McMurray market.
I was in Fort McMurray for 18 years. So.
How does that compare?
We have been more or less on the down for about 12 years up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, that's also seems to be the case everywhere else in Canada as far as the other provinces go. Right now, we're seeing that Alberta in general, other than maybe some small pockets like Fort McMurray, are seeing a lot of activity, a lot of people moving to Alberta.
Right, from
so
other parts
places
of
like Ontario and BC, where they've been seeing all these price increases for years and years, those places are actually starting to decrease in price.
Right.
And now everybody's moving here to Alberta and our prices are going up.
Right.
So that's what's happening there. So it's I'm really glad to hear your insight because I was actually in Fort McMurray for years and years and years, but that was a long time ago. So things have changed significantly as far as market conditions go.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
not a lot of people moving there these days.
Not so much. But tell us, just generally speaking, how does the average price compare for an average residential home in Fort McMurray versus the $432,000 that we have here?
We're probably a little bit higher than Fort McMurray, where that didn't used to be the case for many years.
Right?
Yeah.
It used to be double. The Fort McMurray used to be double
used to be
years
the most
ago.
expensive.
Right? In all of Alberta.
Exactly, in all of Alberta,
So incredible how things have changed. So now we're going to break it down to single-family detached, the duplexes, the townhomes, and the condos. So let's go one by one.
Sure.
What's the detached home say?
So the detached single-family homes, average price currently is $569,000, which saw a small increase from last month of 1.2 and a 4% increase from this time last year.
Incredible.
Which
We're
is great.
still seeing, so typically, just to put that into perspective, everybody, typically we see year-over-year increases on an average market of 2%-ish for a whole year.
Yeah.
We're seeing double that.
Double that.
Now,
Yep.
if we compare that to 2024, the 2024 stats, remember, the year-over-year stats are comparing from July of 2023. So what happened in 24?
So in 2024, single-family homes were sitting at 548,000, which was also a 3.5% increase from the previous month. But from the previous year, we're looking at a whopping increase of 11.6%.
Double-digit
increases. Which
when
is
was the
pretty
last
cool.
time you saw that in Fort McMurray?
Oh, well, probably about 12, 13, 14
Long
years
time ago.
Yeah.
So we're now experiencing this. We were experiencing double-digit increases, just for everybody who's following along, for the last few years, 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Yeah.
So it's just now that things are kind of stabilizing. And of course, we know in 2025, we have a new president down south in
That's
our
right.
neighbors down south. Very unpredictable. So
Yeah.
we've got all those lovely tariffs and everything else, a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of pullback of maybe why we're seeing lower increases in price than we
Right.
normally have been in the last few years.
Yeah.
However, it's still very healthy, still double of what we normally
Still
see.
on the up overall.
And double.
Definitely.
It's still quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Another big segment, probably the most active segment of the market is the
Right.
duplex segment.
Yeah. And for
What does that say?
For the duplex, we're looking at average price currently sitting at 431,000, which again saw a small decrease from last month of 3.6%, but an overall increase from last year of 6.6.
Pretty good.
So that is still pretty healthy.
The duplexes are going up in price faster than the single family. Now, if you notice, we've got almost $100,000 difference between a single family detached home versus a duplex.
Right.
And what that's really means is that you, let's say you're a first time home buyer or you're an investor.
Yeah.
You know, you don't necessarily have to go to a detached home to still get the same square footage.
That's right.
You still get all the benefits. You just have one neighbor that's attached to you
That's
from
right.
one side. And you save yourself $100,000.
Exactly. And you don't have to worry about condo fees or a condo board or any of that stuff either.
Exactly. So that's a huge bonus.
It is.
Now, speaking of $100,000 difference between segments,
Yeah.
what's next?
What's next is the townhouse segment. And we're looking at an average current price right now of $290,000, which again saw a small decrease of 3.2% from this time last month, but overall a gain of 1.4% from last year.
Now, if you compare that to 2024 stats,
2024 stats, we were at an average price of not much different at $286,000, which saw a slight increase of 0.3% from the previous month, but overall from the previous year of 11.6% increase.
so again, there it is.
Again,
in
it's healthy.
2024, we saw double-digit increases in these
Exactly.
segments, crazy high.
It is crazy, yeah.
Now, if we take that into consideration, just what it means compared to the normal market conditions.
Yeah.
Normal market conditions, again, like I mentioned, 2%
Right.
per year.
Yeah.
We were doing 12%.
Yeah.
Now we're still doing, double, triple that.
Yeah.
So pretty good. But again, you notice different segments, another $100,000 or so difference.
That's right.
So again, if you're willing to have neighbors on both sides, because you're in a townhome this time that means you have neighbors on both sides, unless you're an end unit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get away with
Yeah.
that, and that's pretty nice.
Yep.
You can save yourself another $100,000 between
Exactly.
segments and still have the same square footage.
Pretty much. Yep.
The only difference is, of course, your yard's a little bit smaller.
Exactly.
Right?
And
So-
you have to deal with your condo fees.
Now, well, in some cases, you're right.
Yeah.
There are townhome condos and there are townhomes that are not condos.
Yep.
And they're harder to find, but we're seeing more and more of them. They're more popular now with the newer construction. A lot of builders are now building townhomes that are not condominiumized anymore. So good point.
Yep.
But we still have more. So when you're first entering the market,
That's right.
you're buying first-time home buyer, you're usually in a condo, apartment-style condo, right?
Yeah.
And this also includes the different types of apartment-style condos. Here in the Edmonton area, we have both the what we call walk-ups, which aren't really walk-ups. They still have elevators, but they're 3, 4 stories, 5, 6 stories even. And then there are the concrete tall towers downtown.
Yeah.
So this includes all of them.
Right.
What's the average price there?
So the average price there is currently $203,000. Now, it saw a little bit of a decrease from last month of 4.1%, but overall a small increase of 1.1% from this time last year.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Now, how does that compare to 2024?
So if we look at 2024, not much difference. The average price was $201,000, which had also seen a small decrease of 3% from the previous month, but an overall increase from the previous year of 3.9%. So again, more than double the typical average.
Exactly. Now, apartment-style condos here in Alberta, in Edmonton especially, they're not like Toronto. They're not like Vancouver. We don't see double-digit increases here. As a matter of fact, for the longest time, we saw things stagnant where they didn't move at all, or if anything, they were going down in price. So for the condos to be going up in price at all, it's really good.
Still
so
good. Yeah.
if you're an investor, you're a first-time home buyer, better off to buy a condo than to rent. Because right now, rental prices here in the Edmonton area have increased a lot.
Exactly.
And so why would you want to make your landlord rich where you can put money into your own pocket and have a little bit of equity built up, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, good point. So moving right along, what we normally do is we do the prices first because everybody wants to know what the price is.
That's right.
And then we go into the inventory. So inventory really lets us know how much choice buyers have.
Right.
So with that being said, let's just go over the inventory levels for the current month versus total year to date. And we'll go from there. Now remember, this is just Edmonton. If you guys are interested in specific areas, so let's say Sherwood Park, St. Albert, Stony Plain, Fort Saskatchewan, please just drop a comment in below. We'll be happy to reach out and send you all that information as well. Or better yet, just give us a call and we'll make sure that we can go over specifically for your neighborhood even. We can break it down just that far. Let's go over the current listings that we have here for this month.
So we're currently sitting at 3,216, which was an increase of about 9.4% from last month and an overall increase of 22% from this time last year.
So a lot more listings on the market now. But remember, we're talking July.
Right.
What happens in July, guys?
Holidays.
Everybody's on holidays.
Everyone's on camping.
And you know what typically happens is my phone rings towards the end of June and my clients are saying, hey Rob, I'm finally ready to list my home and I've got great news for you. I'm gonna be going on holidays, the kids are gonna be gone, the dog's gonna be gone. You can show the home all you want. The thing they forget is that those people driving beside them on Highway 2 going south
are the buyers.
Those are their buyers. So that's why we usually see an increase in inventory levels in the summertime. However, it does show that we've had quite a bit of an increase by comparison to what we typically do. However, just to make my point, what happened last year at this time?
Last year at this time, we were sitting at 2,703, which was an increase of 4.8% from the previous month, and an increase of 13.3% from the previous year.
Right. So again, just goes to show you that we are experiencing higher and higher inventory levels in the summertime. I am sure that once we have the buyers return from holidays in, say, September, we're probably going to see those inventory levels slow down a little bit as buyers gobble up all that inventory.
Exactly.
Speaking of inventory, what is the total inventory right now? Remember, you were just discussing the amount of new listings that were added this month in July. What is the total inventory now?
So the total inventory for the Greater Edmonton area is currently 5,323.
That's right. Actually, just to correct this particular slide that we're showing you here, guys, this is for Edmonton itself. We do have Greater Edmonton Area slides. That's okay, Rita. It's all good. But what we do see is that the total inventory is 5,323 listings. Now, just to put that in perspective, typically we see double and a half of that. But what does this mean? So what do we have here? What's next to that number?
What's next to that is we currently have a approximate 2.7 months of inventory.
So to break that down for the viewers, what does this really mean? 2.7 months of inventory. What does that mean?
It still means we are not quite a balanced market, and we're still more of a seller's market as opposed to a buyer's
Huge seller's market.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we're experiencing still many multiple offers.
That's right.
July, almost every offer that our team was involved in was in multiple offers, especially in smaller communities like
Yep.
Sherwood Park, St. Albert,
Right.
Fort Saskatchewan. We have very little inventory there.
Yep.
And pockets in Edmonton as well. Now, having said that, 2.7 months of inventory, what that really means is if we were to say stop taking listings altogether, it would take 2.7 months for the buyers to buy up all the inventory and we'd be done.
Yeah.
In a balanced market, it's around 6 months. What we've seen for years and years was a buyer's market, and we were
Right.
seeing 9, sometimes 12 months
Yeah.
of inventory. So a huge difference.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
still very much a seller's market.
Yep.
If you're a seller, if you're thinking about selling, now is a great time to put it on the market
Absolutely.
just before the kids are back in school
Right.
and the parents are ready to buy again. So.
Yeah.
And if you're a buyer, this also means that we're seeing an inventory increase. You're going to have more and more choice. So
That's
this
right.
it's a win-win.
Absolutely. And you likely are not going to go into multiples.
Exactly.
Less likely.
It's less likely now than it
Right.
was a year ago.
Yeah.
But nobody's got a crystal ball. We'll see
No.
what happens next month. I'm looking forward to seeing what the stats look like. Now, moving forward from the inventory, we always like to also discuss this number of sales. So how many properties sold the month of July, and then we'll kind of compare that to 2024 as well.
Sure. So for the month of July, we had a total sales of 1,941, which was 1.6% less than the previous month, and it was about 3.4% less than the last year.
Now, how does that compare to 2024?
In 2024 was slightly better at 2018 sales, which was a 4.1% increase from the previous month, and it was about the same 12,000 for the year, but that was actually an increase of 27.2% over 2023.
Yeah, so huge difference.
Huge
So you
difference,
can
yeah.
see how things have already kind of leveled off. So
Right.
meaning that 12,000 listings or 12,000 sales to happen in the month of July in Edmonton
Yeah.
is really kind of a lot.
Right.
And that's really nice to see for July because remember,
Yeah.
a lot of buyers are on holidays
That's
and we're
right.
still having that much sales. So that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Now, we're going to do something fun. People always like to hear this.
Okay.
Some of the high rollers.
All right.
So this means basically the highest price of the highest listings that sold
Right.
in each segment. So meaning residential detached, apartment style condo,
Yeah.
duplexes, townhomes. So let's
Yeah.
start off with the detached.
All right.
What's the highest
so
price?
the highest price for the detached was 2.9 million.
That's a nice home.
That is a beautiful. That's a palace, basically.
Right? So I'm glad you mentioned that. So
Yeah.
Rita comes with a lot of experience for our viewers. You used to work in the Vancouver market,
Right.
Calgary market, Fort McMurray market, now Edmonton.
Yeah.
So you have a really good sense of what you can get for value here in the Edmonton area.
Right.
What could you get for 2.9 million in Vancouver right now?
Well, in the west side of Vancouver, where I grew up, you'd be really lucky to find anything for 2.9 million. You'd probably get a little old detached home,
Fixer upper?
even a tear down, maybe, for about that. And your property taxes would probably be about 30,000.
Here, 2.9 million, you're literally living the life.
Right.
Like this, it's an amazing property.
Yeah.
It usually means it's super high end, maybe something around 5,000 to 7,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Quadruple car garage on like a half an acre lot in the city.
Right.
Prime location. Super nice.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you what value you can still have here in the Edmonton
Absolutely.
area. So this is a super nice home that's sold. So
sure.
moving right along, semi-detached. So this is the
Yeah.
duplexes. What's the highest duplex that sold
the-
in July?
So the highest duplex that sold in July is 856,000.
So to put that into perspective, remember what we said was the average for duplexes?
Yep, it was 431. So that's
Double.
more than double.
More than double.
Yeah,
That's a really nice duplex.
that is.
Now, having said that, we are seeing a lot of these kind of prices for duplexes in, say, the university area, the downtown area, where prices of the location,
Right.
the actual proximity to the university really drives up those costs.
Exactly.
Now, if you were to buy a duplex in the outskirts for $800,000, that's a really, really nice home.
Yeah.
So that's probably some of the reasons why we're seeing these high prices.
Yeah.
Now let's move right along. What about townhome? What if you were willing to put up with people on each side of you?
Right.
You had a neighbor on each side of you that you're attached to.
Yeah.
And what's the highest price that the townhome sold for?
The highest price for the townhome is $630,000.
Now, I know this doesn't mean much in Vancouver,
No.
but in Edmonton,
It means a lot.
this is a nice home. So for all you viewers from BC or even the Greater Toronto Area, even other parts of Canada, you know what? Even Calgary's prices have gone up so much that these prices are 2 or 3 years old for Calgary, or maybe even more than that.
Yeah.
So we're really still showing a lot of value. And get this, you know what? Just because we're a lower priced city here in Edmonton versus most of the rest of Canada that have cities this big,
Yep.
we still have some really nice properties, including apartment style condos that have some amazing views and amazing locations. So
That's
what's
right.
the highest price of the apartment style condo?
Well, there must have been one that was pretty darn amazing because the highest price for the apartment style condo was a whopping $835,000.
That's pretty nice. That's a nice condo.
That is a very nice condo.
Now, that just happens to be this year and this month, July. Of course, that always changes. These high rollers always change.
That's right.
Let's just compare to what about last year? Last year in July of 2024, let's just go real quick
Sure.
with what's the detached?
So last year for the detached was a whopping $4.2 million.
Wow. So if
That is
you
pretty
got a
crazy.
nice house, a nice property for 2.9 million, just imagine what 4.2 million in the Edmonton area could buy you.
Exactly. For semi-detached, you were at $700,000.
So that's a duplex.
That's a duplex,
700,000. This year, our duplex was 856.
856. Yeah. Last year, the townhouse, so where you have a neighbor on either side, likely, was 875,000.
And this year, we sold one for 630.
630.
So last year, we
Was
had a
even
much
more.
higher price for
Yeah.
the townhomes. So
Yeah.
there you go.
And surprise, surprise, the highest selling apartment style condo last year was a whopping 950,000, even higher than this year.
And you know what? That's still not the very highest. The very highest rollers, they're actually not even for sale.
Right.
I've shown condos downtown that are 2.5 million, 2.9 million, and we're talking 4, 5, 6,000 square feet where they have penthouse, the whole floor, double height
360
ceilings,
degree views of the
360
city.
degree views, 4-car garage,
Down
like
below,
super
probably their
nice.
own private elevator, on and on it goes.
Super nice.
Yeah.
So, one last thing that we really want to cover and make sure that people understand, when you're selling your home, it's also important to know what to expect. So how long will my home be on the market before it sells? When we're speaking averages, we want you to know this. So a detached home, how long does it take to sell a detached home average this year versus last year?
Average this year, you're looking at 30 days. Last year, you were looking at 31 days, so not much of a difference.
Pretty stable.
Pretty stable,
Now,
yeah.
just to put that into perspective, this is a seller's market conditions. Typically speaking, when we're seeing an average market, these days on market are at least double, 64, 65 days.
That's right. For semi-detached, for the duplexes, you're looking at 29 days. And this time last year, 26 days. So again, not too much of a difference,
close,
but a short time period
Short time
nonetheless.
frame, very much so. I mean,
For sure.
typically, you just came from the Fort McMurray market last year. How long was the days on market for Fort McMurray? For this?
Oh, I don't even remember, but it was definitely a lot longer than this.
a lot longer.
Definitely
for
a lot
sure.
longer.
And we were experiencing a lot longer just a few years ago. So this
Yeah.
is very much a seller's market.
Yeah.
So moving on, townhomes.
Townhomes, you're looking at 29 days versus 31 days this time last year.
very
Apartment style condominiums, a little bit longer at 47 days and 44 days this time last year. And if you want to lump them all together on average on everything, you're looking at 34 days versus 33 days. So really
Very close.
Very close.
Yeah. So essentially, at the end of the day, what this all means, we're still very much a seller's market.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of opportunity to buy and earn that equity for yourself. The Edmonton area still represents value, huge value compared to other cities of this size anywhere else in Canada.
Yeah.
So we're really blessed to be here. Now, if you are considering buying, I would suggest sooner the better.
Absolutely.
Right now, you're going to be at an advantage because you're out there buying where other people are still on holidays.
That's right.
So please call us, contact us, take a look at our website. All of the information is below. If you're considering selling, also, the sooner the better, so that we can start to prepare your home and have it ready for when all those other buyers are
come back from holidays,
right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So thank you very much for taking the time to view the video all the way to the end. And Rita, thank you very much.
Thank
you for joining
having
us.
me.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate. Contact us. The links will be down below. Remember to share the video. You never know. This might be the perfect information for one of your friends. And we'll see you next time.